Breaking news, a group of 14 states tonight just filing a new lawsuit against Doge, arguing that Elon Musk's ascent to power in the Trump White House is unconstitutional. And their lawsuit says, crucial line here, Musk's seemingly limitless and unchecked power to strip the government of its workforce and eliminate entire departments with the stroke of a pen or click of a mouse would have been shocking to those who won this country's independence. Out front now, the Michigan Attorney General, Dana Nessel, one of the Democratic leaders bringing this lawsuit against Musk. And I really appreciate it, Attorney General. So can you explain just simply why you think Musk's role is illegal?
Well, it's a clear violation of the Appointments Clause, right? You know, the United States Constitution, it grants the President of the United States the ability, with advice and consent of the Senate, to appoint cabinet secretaries and directors over particular agencies. But Elon Musk, in Doge, which falls within the branch of the Office of Management and Budget, he doesn't have the power to be marauding through all of these various different departments and agencies of government. He was never, confirmed by the Senate. Right. He's got no security clearance. He didn't do a financial disclosure report. They haven't vetted him for conflicts of interest. All the things that would be traditionally done, they haven't done. He doesn't have the power to do this in even one department, let alone the 18 or 19 or 20 departments that he's now visited, mined all the data, gotten everybody's personal information, state secrets, and God knows what he's doing with it all. It's illegal, it's unconstitutional, and we're asking the court of law for it to end immediately.
So the White House has said, as you know, they've classified him as a special government employee. So as you know, Attorney General, that means he doesn't get paid. He's only allowed to work 130 days or fewer in a year. Although obviously, he's been posting pictures of himself sleeping on the floor, and he would exceed that count the way he's going pretty quickly. But the reality of it is, when it comes to that designation, a special government employee, all presidents have had them, Democrat and Republican. It's a bipartisan thing. Do you think that legally this is different?
It's very different. We've never had a special employee of the president behave as basically a super cabinet secretary who has authority over every single agency in federal government. We've never seen that before, and it's not illegal. And again, even if he did this in one department without the advice and consent of the Senate, it would be illegal. But he's doing it in all the departments.
So speaking of all the departments, he says he wants to gut a lot more than he already has, right? Many. Okay, so we've got USAID, and they're, technically, I know, going through a 90-day review, but that's gone, and there's going to be more. Here's what he said.
If you don't remove the roots of the weed, then it's easy for the weed to grow back. But if you remove the roots of the weed, it doesn't stop weeds from ever growing back, but it makes it harder. So we have to really delete entire agencies, many of them.
Delete entire agencies. And Attorney General, the reason that I mentioned USAID is, speaking to someone today who's involved with that, the feeling is that 90-day reprieve, it doesn't mean anything. It's going to be gone anyway. The name's been ripped off the wall. People have been sent home. And it just begs the question of whether you think that what's already in motion here can be stopped.
Well, a court can stop it, and a court can stop it right away. I mean, first of all, no cabinet secretary or director has the ability to just wholesale eliminate a congressionally created agency. It was created through an act of Congress. It can only be eliminated through an act of Congress. And he's never been elected to Congress, let alone anything at all, right? He is an unelected billionaire who's acting really like a king. So what I would say is, we're hopeful that a court in the District of Columbia will recognize, the grave threat that he poses to our government, and we're asking the court to immediately, restrain Elon Musk from these activities and to make sure that he discontinues ordering employees to do all of the many things that we know he's been doing, right? Firing workers, canceling government contracts, selling government property, and again, eliminating wholesale, departments of government to tell the court exactly what actions he's taken and to make sure that he is returning or deleting all of the sensitive data that he has now collected, which, again, could put us in incredible jeopardy globally. We heard that he's been meeting routinely with Vladimir Putin, and he's going into the Department of Defense and he's mining data there. I mean, this is an incredibly serious moment in American history.
All right. Well, Attorney General Dana Nessel, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right. And next, the breaking news. Trump backs Putin. The president blaming the U.S. for the war in Ukraine and refusing to say if Russia will have to give back the land it seized from Ukraine. Plus, Mitch McConnell breaking with Trump and very consistently now voting no on RFK Jr., the only Republican to do